Welcome to Live Well, Dream Big. I'm Suzanne Monroe, founder of the International Association of Wellness Professionals, where I've been teaching people how to live a life of wellness, tap into their passion, and go for their dreams for over 15 years. I believe living well and dreaming big starts with ourselves. This podcast will show you how to create a healthy, holistic life, empower your mindset, follow your dreams, and make a big impact. Let's dive in right now. Welcome back to Live Well, Dream Big. I'm your host, Suzanne Monroe, and I'm really excited for today's shorter solo episode where I'm going to share with you a little bit about my own journey and what I've been thinking about and what's next for our Live Well, Dream Big community. And if you recall, earlier this year and even at the end of last year, I told you something new was coming, some things are brewing. I'm kind of waiting to get clarity. I was talking about letting go. And I got to tell you, the clarity did not come as soon as I hoped, but here we are a little bit later and the clarity is coming through. And I really want to share with you guys and talk to you a little bit more about my process and what is next for really the next chapter of Live Well, Dream Big. So let's dive in. Hey everybody, welcome back to Live Well, Dream Big. I am super excited to be here with you. You know, if you've been following this show for a while, you may have noticed that lately there's been fewer episodes trickling out. And that is because I have been kind of busy doing a deep dive on what's really next for Live Well, Dream Big. And I shared this kind of at the end of the last year and the beginning of going into this year, how I was kind of waiting for this clarity. I was letting go. I was kind of going through my process. And wow, I really had to take my own advice on letting go. I wanted the clarity to come, but the truth is the more you force it, the more it kind of remains dormant. And so I really had to let go and allow this to come through. And the funny thing is when you do that, what you realize is that it's really been there all along. But for some reason, something is blocking you, whether it's fear or, hesitation, procrastination. There's usually something standing in a way to you getting that clarity and deciding really what's next for you. That's what's happened to me. And, I think we all go through processes like this, right? I find that when I'm on this journey, the only way to really get clarity is to tap into my inner wisdom, tap into my intuition, and really look at what's going on in there and what wants to come out. And it's funny because I think we have it all figured out in our minds sometimes, and we want our minds to give us the answer. But I really realized over the past 15 plus years of being in business and being on the personal growth and self-development path that if I follow my brain, what happens is my ego tends to lead all of the decisions. And it's not a horrible thing. Oftentimes I get to where I think I want to be going, but it's not the highest, best possible version of where I could have gone, right? Because I didn't include that soul piece. We have to include that soul piece because when I let my soul and my heart and my intuition, my higher self really guide the process, then I get to this amazing, incredible, best path forward. In order to do that, we got to let go, right? And it wasn't easy. And I've had a lot of weeks and moments wondering kind of, okay, what am I really meant to share next? What are we really doing here? What is important to our community? And I got to say, I even felt kind of guilty about it because I wasn't sharing with you on the regular and just feeling like, okay, now's not the time because I didn't have that clarity. But and the funny thing about guilt is it is coming from our ego, right? It's a process that's going to tell us, okay, we're not good enough and that we should buy into this version of ourselves, right? We got to let that go. Here's what's coming through now. I really need to bring forth to you more about my own personal journey, more about my holistic wellness practices and topics, and share more about with you what I'm actually doing on a daily basis to help me lead my life and my business from a holistic, soul-centered place, right? Because we've kind of just scratched the surface so far here about wellness on Live Well, Dream Big, right? And there's a lot to cover on a foundational level. And that's why we did it, right? We've talked about mindset. We've talked about empowering ourselves. We've had so many amazing topics and guest speakers coming on to talk about, nutrition and health and wellness and, career burnout, all these things that are kind of happening around us that seem really important. And we heard a lot of great stories too. But the thing is, there's so much more to dive into together. There just simply is. And I'll say that my life on this Live Well, Dream Big journey has been really a deeply spiritual, holistic path that continues to evolve and grow every day. And I've spent a lot of time like taking this all in for myself and not always sharing some of the deeper dives and things that I'm doing with our community, mostly probably because of the age old fear of what will you think of me, right? Don't we all have that fear of being judged, of wondering, okay, what if you don't like it? What if it's not for you? Maybe I should just play it safe, stick to kind of the general topics. But I keep getting the message and I keep getting shown again and again, it's time to shift gears. It's time to really get into the juicy stuff. Because I know as a listener, you're like me, you're a creative, soulful person, and you have a lot in your heart to share with the world, right? And you're on this journey. You might be a woman out there who's, tired of doing things the old way, but you're still going off to your old job where there's certain rules you have to follow, but you're feeling there's a sense of a change coming in your life and your path, and you really want to do something meaningful, right? Or maybe you're already on this path. You're living well, dreaming big, but you're hitting obstacles, right? It can be a lonely journey sometimes. Maybe there's new things coming up for you. Or maybe you're already a coach in our community and you're on the path to creating this meaningful career and helping others, right? But you're growing to that next level and you're like, okay, there's more to learn. There's more to do. I think all of our listeners, no matter where we are on the journey, have something in common. We're all here to live well and dream big. And we know there's another way to do it, no matter where you are on the journey, right? There's all those external voices, kind of the rules, things we've been told about how we should live our life, whether it's about wellness or about our career or whatever it is. And part of us knows like that is not working for us anymore, right? And there is a better way. And I think that better way really starts with us coming together as a community and then listening to our own souls and our own paths about what we're really meant to do. Because there's tons of guidance out there, tons of things I could share with you, systems and tips and all this stuff. And that's all valuable. But what really matters is coming back to your own heart, right? Because that is like 90% of it, right? All the other stuff is great, but you have to carve your own path and you've got to listen to yourself so that whatever is meant to come forward for you comes through, right? Otherwise, you're just following someone else's plan. So we're going to be getting into it all. And I'm so excited. We're changing it up a bit. And I'm really excited about some of the speakers I have booked for this next chapter. It's a whole new season of really interesting people in the live well, dream big space, really. And we're going to be talking about juicy topics in holistic wellness, what people are really doing to up-level their health and life on this journey. And we're going to get into their personal stories. We're going to get into some stuff out there that you might find really interesting and juicy, or you might feel like, oh, this is kind of freaky. This is kind of out there, right? But we're going to explore it all because why not, right? You can take what works for you and you can leave the rest. But I invite you to really experiment, right? Open up to maybe something new because that's really how we grow on our paths. So I think about that for myself. When I look back to like 10 or 15 years ago, like the things I'm into now, what I'm reading about now and stuff is so much different from what I was into then, right? So it's a journey and we have to be open, I think, on that journey if we want to keep growing and getting to new places. The other thing I want to do, besides some of these incredible new voices and speakers out there, I really want to bring you more kind of short, actionable episodes that I am going to call soul sessions. This is where I really want to tell you more what's on my mind, what's in my heart and soul. And I want to take the time to have more personal conversations with you about the things I'm doing and practices that actually I'm doing on a daily basis to stay connected to my soul. Because I truly believe that's what the whole live well, dream big journey starts with and what it's about. And, so it's about caring for yourself, but it's also about determining what that looks like for you. And one of my favorite words right now is alignment, right? If we're not in alignment with this inner peace, nothing else really seems to work in life, right? But if we can align with our soul, then whatever it is we want to do flows so much more seamlessly, right? It's such a great time right now to be able to check in with yourself, check in on what's working well, what's blocking you right now. And I will be sharing with you ways for you to stay in alignment and also keep moving forward one step further on your live well, dream big journey. So I'm super excited for these personal chats. So stay tuned, stay connected, and let's keep living well and dreaming big together. I'll see you soon. Thank you for joining me for today's episode of Live Well, Dream Big. I hope you enjoyed today's conversation, and I want to invite you to take your next step toward living well and dreaming big by downloading the Live Well, Dream Big lifestyle book. It's the ultimate guide to becoming your best self and living life on your own terms. You can grab your complimentary copy by going to the link in the show notes or heading directly to iawpwellnesscoach.com/guide. That's iawpwellnesscoach.com/guide.